responsible citizen. Good citizens and caring for the community.
Hi, I'm Miss Jones. Welcome to today's social studies lesson. Do you know what responsibilities are? Think about the ones that you might have at home. Do you do chores? Maybe you might help take care of a pet. Well, in today's social studies lesson, we will learn about being a responsible citizen at home, school, and in your community. Come on, let's get ready to learn.
Let's look at our key vocabulary. Community, a group of people who work and play together. Citizens, people who live in and belong to a community. Responsibility, something a person should take care of or do. Volunteer, a person who spends some of his or her free time helping other people or to work or help others without being paid. Our essential question is, how can citizens be responsible in their community? Good citizens, a member of many communities. Did you know that you are a part of many different groups called communities? You are a part of your church, school, family, and even your classroom. You also belong to a larger community. It is the city or town where you live. Citizens work together to make your city or town a good place to live, work, and play. Our responsibilities. Each citizen has a responsibility to make his or her community a good place to live. A responsibility is something that a person should take care of or do. Responsible citizens work together. They are also fair and honest. At home, you can pick up your toys or set the table. You can be fair at school by sharing supplies. In the community, you can take turns when playing games with neighbors or friends. It's summary time. What have you learned so far? Help me out here. People who work and play together are members of a blank of communities work together to make their communities good places to live, work, and play. What vocabulary word will complete this sentence? Each citizen has a blank to make his or her community a good place to live. Which vocabulary word will complete this sentence? It's time to use what you know. That means it's time to get you active in some class discussion. All right, how can a responsible citizen help make his or her community a good place to live? Very nice. So, who can say one sentence using both the words citizen and responsibility? Very good. Now, why is it important to treat others fairly? Caring for the community. Acting responsibly. You have responsibilities as a member of your family. You are responsible for keeping your room clean. You might do other chores too. You might clean up after meals or take out the trash. At school, children also have responsibilities. They need to listen in class. Children must finish their schoolwork on time. Members of clubs and sports teams must work together and play fairly. Helping others. People who are responsible care about others. They help take care of the community. Some people called volunteers work without being paid. A volunteer spends some of his or her free time helping other people. People who volunteer help make the community a better place to live. Volunteers care for others in so many ways. Let's take a moment to look at this flowchart example of how citizen volunteers help communities. First, you have to make a personal decision to want to spend time helping other people. For example, a hospital volunteer reads to a child who is sick. The result of this volunteer's decision is both people enjoy the experience. And from there, the whole community benefits when more people help care for people who are sick. As a volunteer, taking the time to think of others not only benefits you, but the entire community. See, it pays to be a volunteer. Let's look at a real-life example of North Carolina volunteers. Hurricane Katrina damaged communities in Mississippi, Louisiana, and Alabama in 2005. The town of Bay St. Louis, Mississippi was destroyed. The community of Southern Pines, North Carolina wanted to help. The people in Southern Pines raised more than $80,000 for the people of Bay St. Louis. Volunteers from Southern Pines went to Bay St. Louis to help rebuild homes, schools, and other buildings. And guess what? You are never too young to volunteer and make a difference. Alban and Wellen are from Hickory, North Carolina. When Alban was 10 years old and Wellen was 7 years old, they started a group called Suitcases for Kids. This group collects suitcases for foster children when they move. Foster children are children who live with other families. Today, volunteers across the United States collect suitcases.
It's summary time. What have you learned so far? What's missing in each of these sentences? Children have what, both in their families and at school? Who works without pay during their free time in order to help people? Volunteers in what state help make the state a better place to live? It's time to use what you know. That means it's time to get you active in some class discussion. Let's apply what we've learned. How is helping others a way to take care of the community? Very good. Now list 2 examples of things that volunteers can do. Your examples can be from the lesson or you can come up with your own. All right. So, why do people volunteer? It's time to review and summarize. So, what have you learned? People who work and play together are members of a community. Citizens of communities work together to make their communities good places to live, work, and play. Each citizen has a responsibility to make his or her community a good place to live. Children have responsibilities both in their families and at school. Volunteers work without pay during their free time in order to help other people. Volunteers in North Carolina help make the state a better place to live. So, how are you going to apply what you learned today in your life? As a citizen, what are some of your responsibilities in your family, at your school, and in your community? How can we volunteer to help others in our community? Let's take what we've learned here today and apply it in our lives every day. Thanks for listening. Make it a great day. The choice is yours.